lay on your back, put one hand here, one hand here, one out here. And then practice taking big, deep breaths. And when you breathe in, this hand should go up first, and then this hand should go up. When you exhale, the hand on the chest goes down, and then down here. And then after you do that for a while, you can put some telephone books or something down here, and then just practice pushing the telephone books out. And if we can get those last 3 pints of air out of us, and then we take a big deep breath, we're putting in 7 pints of air now in our body. And we can also incorporate visualization at this time. I believe in using everything at our disposal when we're healing. And the mind is extremely powerful. Quantum physicists understand this concept now. If you've studied people like Bruce Lipton, they're saying that our thoughts are 1,000 times more powerful than drugs. And Bruce Lipton really helped me understand why doctors are so clueless. Because he taught doctors in school. And he said that most of our diseases are due to inappropriate signals. No wonder doctors don't get it. Before they even know anything, the first thing they're taught is diseases are inappropriate signals. No! They're part of our feedback system. Nothing inappropriate about pain. We need to know if we're doing something wrong. So that's why doctors just don't get it. Right off the bat, they're taught to negate the law of cause and effect. Because it's just an inappropriate signal. We got to correct the signal. And that's what the drugs are doing. That allows them to justify what they're doing. They think it's okay to interrupt the signal. But the body knows what it's doing. We don't want to interrupt that process. So breathing diaphragmatically, very, very important. We can use our mind. We can use visualization at the same time. So as you're breathing in, imagine you've got little bitty soldiers running inside your body. And have them go down to where you know a tumor is or some problem and have them work on it. So there's a Hatha Yoga breathing sequence of 1-4-2, where you breathe in for a count of 1, you hold it for a count of 4, you exhale for a count of 2. So you take a big deep breath after you exhaled everything out, count how long it takes. If it takes 10 seconds, that means you got to hold it for 40 seconds. You might not be able to do that, so you got to modify this a little bit. So an easy way to remember this is when you're breathing in, you bring those guys in quickly, but then you leave them in there for 4 times as long as it took to get them in there, so they gather as much bad stuff as they can and repair as much stuff as they can. And when you breathe out twice as long as it took to get them in to make sure they all leave and they get out of you. So it's real important we support the lymph system. Again, the skin brushing, very simple to do. If you don't have a skin brush, it's a good investment. When people do the skin brushing and you have a bowel movement while you're on the juice feast, you'll see the lymph fluids coming through. You can tell a difference in the consistency of what's coming out. Say again? Yes. The trampoline. All type of exercise will help move the lymph fluids. We've got about almost 4 times as much lymph fluid as we do blood in our body. Every cell in our body is surrounded by lymph fluid. So the cells empty out their waste matter into the lymph fluid. The lymph fluid goes to the colon, and hopefully the colon is not like a vacuum cleaner bag that's full. It can absorb this stuff. So exercise will move the lymph fluids. Deep breathing will move the lymph fluids. Jumping on a trampoline is very, very, very good for moving the lymph fluids. Perhaps maybe one of the best ways. So thanks for bringing that up. But basic walking is also very good. So you want to do something, you want to be active, which I explained down the road here, if you have the energy. And once again, if you're doing everything right and you're still having a cleansing reaction, that tells me your liver can't handle the toxic load. And if you've got a condition like cancer, there's a good chance that your liver is going to be compromised and will not be able to handle the load, and you will have to definitely do something to support your liver. Yes?
How do you support your kidneys?
Pardon me?
When do you need to support your
Well, that's where the Chalka Pieter comes into play. And I'm glad you brought that up, because if you have kidney problems, you might not be able to do the juice feast. That's why I've got the lemonade feast on there also. The kidneys still have to process juices. So if your kidneys are compromised, they may not handle the volume of juices that we're drinking. And the only thing that will cleanse kidneys is distilled water. So you can use distilled water when you make this lemonade drink. And if you are having problems, let's say you do a juice feast and you're not losing any weight and you're not urinating like you should. That means your kidneys can't handle the load. That's when you need to back off a little bit and be flexible and say, well, let me try this lemonade drink for a while. Might need to do it for a week or 2 or 3. You're not going to get near the nutrition you would normally be getting. But that's when you go to those superfoods. If you're doing the lemonade drink, you're not getting everything else you're getting. So you need to supplement with some superfoods to get the minerals. And you will probably also have to supplement the protein. You might need to take some hemp protein powder because there's not a lot of protein in these superfood supplements. But there is a lot of protein in hemp protein powder. So when I'm coaching people in the beginning, when I first started teaching people this a long time ago, they didn't have the better machines that made the better juice. So most of my students who had to work did the lemonade drink while they were at work. And if half of your juices are coming from that lemonade, you're not going to be getting near the nutrition you could be getting, and you should really consider doing a few extra supplements like the superfoods and the hemp protein powder. But we don't need as much protein as we think. Not near as much as we've been led to believe. Now, at this time, let me review the herbs that we want to take. The Cascara Sagrada is my preference to make the bowels move, but you do whatever you like. Oxy powder, Dr. Ed Group, many of you may know Ed Group here in town. He came up with this protocol, this supplement. It works on a different principle, and it's much better for people who don't want their system to become dependent on something that's a stimulant in any way. But we can also do things like the psyllium bentonite shakes. The psyllium bentonite shake is something I usually save for maybe in the second month or so. I'm not really fond of using that early on because the body's going to be cleansing out all by itself without doing anything else. But once we get to a certain point and we know we're really, really clean, then we can try to speed up the process and do the psyllium bentonite shakes. The psyllium is just a bulking agent. It absorbs